In a land where gold obeyed his command. Where chiefs bowed when he entered. Where his name opened gates carved from ivory. There lived a billionaire who could buy anything. Anything. Except a child. And so, in his desperation to secure his legacy, he made a choice that would awaken the ancestors, silence the drums, and set his kingdom on fire. Because in Africa, you can buy land. You can buy loyalty. But you cannot buy destiny. This is the story of the man who bought a womb. And paid with his kingdom. Chief Adewale was not born rich. Before the mansions. Before the oil wells. Before the fleets of black cars that roared like lions down village roads. There was just Adewale and Amara. Amara, the woman who tied wrapper around her waist and followed him when he owned nothing but hope. She sold fried plantains in the market while he chased contracts. She fasted when he needed breakthrough. She prayed when deals collapsed. And when the wealth finally came, it came like rain in the monsoon season. Soon, Adewale owned half the land beyond the Red River. Politicians shook his hand. Elders praised his name. But in the quiet of the night, when the drums were silent and servants asleep, one truth echoed inside the marble walls. There was no child's laughter. Years passed. Doctors in the city. Herbalists in the forest. Prophets on mountains. Nothing. The whispers began. A man without a son is a tree without roots. A fortune without an heir becomes a stranger's inheritance. At first, Adewale defended his wife. Amara is my crown, he would say. But pride is a seed. And once planted, it grows in silence. At council meetings, elders asked gentle questions that cut like blades. Who shall sit on your throne when you join the ancestors? Adewale's nights grew restless. His eyes began to wander. And in the corner of his vast household lived a quiet girl named Zainab, the maid. Young. Respectful. Untouched by any man. One evening, as thunder rolled in the distance, an idea entered Adewale's heart. It did not knock. It did not ask permission. It whispered. What if legacy can be arranged? And with that whisper, destiny shifted. The meeting happened at night. No drums. No witnesses. Zainab stood trembling before her master. Her hands folded. Her eyes lowered. She was barely 19. A village girl sent to work in the city to support her widowed mother. Adewale did not look at her as a father would. He looked at her as a solution. I will change your life, he said. Gold bracelets. Land for her family. A house of her own. All she had to do was carry his child. Zainab's heart pounded like festival drums. She knew what this meant. She knew what people would say. But poverty is a cruel master. She agreed. And that night, the line between desperation and betrayal was crossed. Months passed. Then one morning, the household exploded with news. Zainab was with child. The compound changed overnight. Servants whispered. Elders smiled knowingly. And Adewale, he began visiting the maids' quarters more often. Amara noticed the shift. The way her husband's laughter returned, but not because of her. The way he avoided her gaze. One evening she confronted him. Tell me the truth, she said, her voice steady but her soul shaking. He did not deny it. It is for our legacy, he answered coldly. Our, she whispered. But she already knew. In that moment, something sacred shattered. The ancestors were watching. And they do not sleep when vows are broken. When Zainab's belly began to show, the whispers turned into open talk. The gods have chosen a new mother. Amara walked through the marketplace one afternoon and felt the stares pierce her skin. Some pitied her. Others judged her. None defended her. At home, Adewale's patience for her sorrow faded. You should be grateful, he snapped one night. This child belongs to this house. But Amara saw the truth. This was no longer about a child. It was about pride. Then the unthinkable happened. Adewale called the elders. Before them all, he declared Zainab would be elevated in status. And Amara was asked to leave. The woman who built his foundation was cast out like ash from a cooking fire. She did not scream. She did not curse. She simply removed her wedding beads and placed them on the marble floor. And walked away. But as she stepped beyond the compound gates, a strange wind rose. Dust spiraled. Birds scattered. An old woman at the roadside whispered. The ancestors have begun to speak. For when a good woman weeps unjustly, heaven records it. And destiny prepares its reply. The day Zainab went into labor, the skies were strangely still. No wind. No birds. Even the palm trees stood frozen, as if the earth itself was holding its breath. Inside the mansion, servants ran in panic. Midwives were summoned. Elders gathered in the outer courtyard, whispering prayers and prophecies. Adewale paced the marble floors, his heart racing with pride. My son is coming, he declared. My legacy lives. Hours passed. Zainab's cries echoed through the halls, raw, fearful, young. She was no queen. She was still a girl carrying a burden larger than her age. Then, just before sunset, the cry of a newborn pierced the air. The elders smiled. It is done. But something was wrong. The baby did not cry long. The child's eyes did not open. The child's limbs did not move. The midwife stepped back slowly. Adewale, she said softly. The billionaire rushed forward, pushing past everyone. In Zainab's trembling arms lay a child, alive, breathing, but strangely still. The baby's gaze was unfocused, distant, as though looking beyond this world. Days turned into weeks. The child did not respond to sound. Did not track movement. Did not laugh. Doctors were called from the city. Specialists flown in. Prayers offered at shrines. The diagnosis came like a thunderclap. The child would never speak. Never walk. Never rule. Silence filled the mansion. The same elders who once praised Adewale now avoided his compound. Whispers returned. Perhaps the ancestors rejected the offering. Perhaps vows cannot be broken without consequence. Zainab wept endlessly. She had given her body, her innocence, her name, and now she carried guilt like a second womb. But Adewale? At first, he raged. He blamed doctors. He blamed fate. He blamed the heavens. Until one night, as he stood alone in the great hall, he heard something. Laughter. Soft. Familiar. He turned. For a moment, just a moment, he thought he saw Amara standing at the doorway. Calm. Radiant. Unbroken. Then she was gone. The silence of the house became unbearable. The grand halls echoed emptiness. Gold could not cure this. Power could not command healing. Legacy could not be forced. For the first time since his rise to wealth, Adewale felt small. And somewhere far away, in a modest village house, Amara was rebuilding her life, stronger than before. Because sometimes, when a queen is cast out, she does not fall. She rises. And the ancestors were not finished yet. The mansion grew quieter with each passing month. No celebrations. No visiting elders. No music. Only silence and regret. Adewale sat alone in his vast courtyard one evening, staring at the empty throne carved from Iraka wood. The same throne he once imagined his son would inherit now mocked him. Gold statues surrounded him. Imported fountains flowed. Yet the air felt heavy, like a kingdom under judgment. Zainab had changed too. She no longer smiled with gratitude. The weight of motherhood pressed upon her young shoulders. She loved her child fiercely, but she could feel it. This child was not born of love. He was born of desperation. Meanwhile, far from the city's noise, Amara was rising. When she returned to her ancestral village, many expected her to arrive broken. Instead, she arrived with dignity wrapped around her like royal cloth. She began helping widows, funding small farms, teaching young girls how to build businesses. The same strength that once built Adewale's empire was now building something greater, her own legacy. And the people noticed. They called her Mother of Many. They respected her wisdom, her compassion, her grace under betrayal. One afternoon, a delegation of elders traveled quietly to the village. Not to Adewale. To Amara. They sat before her and bowed their heads. "The land remembers who watered it," one elder said softly. News of her influence reached the city. It reached Adewale. And for the first time since his pride took root, his heart cracked open. He remembered the plantain stall, the fasting, the prayers. He remembered who stood beside him when he had nothing. Not Zainab. Amara. That night, Adewale drove alone to the village. No convoy. No guards. When he arrived, he found Amara under a mango tree, surrounded by women laughing as they sorted harvest baskets. She looked radiant. Not broken. Not bitter. Powerful. He stepped forward, his voice stripped of arrogance. "I was blind," he said. Silence fell. The women stepped back. Amara studied him carefully. The man who once commanded rooms now stood like a boy seeking forgiveness. "You did not want a child," she said calmly. "You wanted immortality." Her words struck deep. Tears filled his eyes, not of wealth lost, but of wisdom gained too late. "I have come to ask." She raised her hand gently. "Some doors," she said, "close so that others may open." She did not return with him. Instead, she offered support for the child, innocent of his father's pride. Adewale left that village humbled. His wealth remained. But his throne was empty. And the people learned a lesson whispered for generations. A child born without love carries silence. A woman betrayed carries power. And a man who trades loyalty for legacy may gain a son, but lose his kingdom. In Africa, we say, when you chase the fruit and abandon the root, the tree will remember. Legacy is not built by force. Children are not contracts. And love cannot be replaced with desperation. If this story moved you, remember, wisdom grows when shared. Like the video. Subscribe to Rose Makem. And join us as we uncover more African tales of power, love, and destiny. Until the next fire is lit. May the ancestors guide your path.